Pack your bags because this Christmas we're cozying up in the far north of Japan, in a region known for record-breaking snowfalls, scenery that looks something out of E.T., and fish so fresh that it makes you feel kinda guilty to eat it. And because taking a bullet train all the way to Sapporo is not only time-consuming but also extremely expensive, we are headed to a little airport nearby Kyoto at a painful hour in the morning. And surely, here we are landing in Egypt? I don't know what's up with that. But seriously, we are now in Hokkaido, Japan's northernmost island. We rented a car from one of the airport dealerships and they have a free shuttle service which made everything so much more convenient. And off we go to our first destination of the day, Otaru, a city which looks rather like Birmingham or Manchester than anything I've seen so far in Japan. And that's because it boomed as a port and trading town in the late 1800s and is still lined with old stone warehouses and Western-style bank buildings along the canal. While raw fish for breakfast might not be everyone's cup of tea, fish markets are open early in the morning in this little port city. And so we paid a visit to Sankaku Market for a hearty bowl of crab miso and kaisendon, seafood rice balls. For just about $25, you get to eat quite literally the world's best, freshest fish. After breakfast, it's time to go back into the cold. And what better way of beating the cold if not for a stop at one of the many breweries in the city. Now, beer up here isn't random. Hokkaido has long been a natural fit for brewing. The colder climate makes it easier to ferment beer properly, and in the 90s, Japan loosened the rule around small-scale brewing, which is what kickstarted a whole wave of local microbreweries. Which brings us to Otaru Beer. Despite its appearance as a centuries-old pub, it's actually a modern brewery that started in the mid-90s, but it's famous because it commits hard to the German style. Classic lagers, traditional methods, even a German brewmaster behind the scenes.
So this is the one I chose. It's flavored with wood syrup. I don't know what that is.
And the best part is where you get to drink it, inside a warehouse by the canal. Because Otaru used to be a serious port town, this canal was built for moving cargo and these stone warehouses were built to store it all. Back then, Otaru was basically the finance and shipping hub of Hokkaido. People even called it the Wall Street of the North. Today, the cargo is gone, but the buildings are still here, repurposed into the coziest places to warm up in. And because we all know that there's nothing better to do after getting drunk than work with 2000-degree molten glass, we dug into PONTE, one of Otaru's hands-on glass studios. Otaru's glass fame actually comes from working life history. Local makers started with practical stuff like oil lamps and fishing floats, then later turned that craftsmanship into the tableware and souvenirs you see everywhere today. And while the souvenirs are super cute, we are not here to shop, we are actually here to work on our own glass pieces. You can actually join a workshop here. You get to choose what you want to make and then you choose the color, the pattern, and even if you want a smooth surface or cracks on top of it. I went for a little pink sake glass with a crack finish, which means that we will later have to insert the glass into cold water to create a cracking effect on the surface. Our teacher was absolutely amazing. She would handle all of the more dangerous parts and then she would explain everything to us step by step. For every single step, you have to reheat the glass because you have to make sure it's always piping hot in order for it to be easy to shape. And so she's doing all of the reheating steps, but we are doing everything in between. First off, you get the pipe, which has an empty core, and you have to blow in it as hard as you can so that you create air within the glass. Then you have to shape it on both edges. First, you give it a little crease so that you can later cut it off, and then you have to flatten one of the parts so that it can stand on the table. You have to keep rotating back and forth all the time, otherwise it will get cold and it will fall off and break. The final step is actually the hardest one. You have to slowly go in with this metal claws and widen the gap, which is weirdly similar to an auction visit. And now it's time to get my cracked surface by putting it into water. You can't take them home right away because they have to cool down slowly so they don't crack, but they will provide worldwide delivery, and with the magic of time travel I can show you the final result. From Otaru, we headed to Sapporo for something completely different. We are visiting the chocolate factory. This is Shiroi Koibito Park, a chocolate entertainment park run by Ishiya, the company behind one of Japan's most famous souvenir sweets. The whole place has this oddly European storybook vibe on purpose, especially because we visited at Christmas time. The park leans into a blend of British and Hokkaido aesthetics because the founder was fascinated by England apparently. The star of the show is the cookie itself, Shiroi Koibito, chocolate sandwich between two langue de chat biscuits. If you've never heard of langue de chat, it's basically a thin, delicate French-style butter cookie which is really crispy as well. The name literally means cat's tongue because of its shape. This quickly became a classic Hokkaido omiyage to bring to your friends, and here you can actually watch parts of the production and see how they assemble the cookies behind the scenes. Which we couldn't do because the factory closes at 4:30. But we bought the cookies regardless, and I will give you a proper review in the next video, but all I can say so far, they were so good. Like, good. And while you'll have to come back to the next video to see the luxurious accommodation we had on night 2, tonight we stay in a humble hostel that is actually really cute and central. How cute is this? Alright, this is our hotel room, which is actually a hostel. We have 2 bunk beds, but they are pretty big. They're not bad. And it's very clean. It's not bad. We're staying here just for one night. Have the sink outside, and then I haven't seen the bathroom yet. Oh, good. Follow the bathroom. Yeah, not bad at all, actually. It's really hard to find even hostels that are bad in Japan, to be honest, because they clean them so well. It's really nice. We dropped our bags, dressed up really warmly, and walked to the Sapporo Beer Museum, which is the perfect finale in a city that helped build Japan's beer culture. The museum itself opened in 1987 in this Meiji-era red brick building and is known as Japan's first museum dedicated to beer. But let's be honest, we weren't here just to read the plaques. We came for the main event. We just walked in for the Yakiniku and the smell hit us immediately, and we're in the hallway. It smells so much like lamb. It's crazy. Genghis Khan Yakiniku, the famous Hokkaido-style lamb barbecue cooked on a dome-shaped grill, where the meat sizzles on top and the vegetables catch all of the drippings around the edges. And yes, the name comes from the Mongolian leader because Japanese people associate lamb, a meat that is not widely available here, with Mongolia. We had all-you-can-eat for 100 minutes, and it goes without saying, with all-you-can-drink beer, it was a hefty price of about $70 per person, but honestly, so worth it. As a Romanian, we eat lamb only on Easter, and I missed Easters at home for longer than I can remember. So I could be biased, but both me and Taku declare that this was the best yakiniku we've ever had, and that's saying something because we go for yakiniku at least once a month. By the way, we brought our own plastic bags because we were scared that our clothes would smell like lamb for the rest of the trip, but the restaurant thought of everything and they gave us their own plastic bags. Anyways, after a trillion beers, we walked back into the city and you can enjoy my drunk footage. Guys, I just realized these are real trees. Like, this is a real pine tree. I thought it was fake. That's usually what they do in Europe. This is real. Like, you can just walk underneath it. This is crazy. It's huge. Wow. That's really, really cool. See, like that? That doesn't look real. That doesn't look real, but it's real. Thanks to the cold weather that woke us up a little, we actually made it home in one piece. And we have one more day in Hokkaido, but that's coming in our next video, so please subscribe to my channel not to miss it because it's so much fun, so much nature, and a gorgeous ryokan in the middle of the forest. I'll see you on the next one. Bye!